Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's time again for another Word Balloon Live. John Suntress here. I see the Lucy fans coming out in droves. They're Joe Henderson fans. We welcome back the man who co-produces Lucifer and has a brand new comic with his collaborator, Lee Garbett, and it's called Shadowcraft. There it is.
Shadecraft, John.
Shadecraft, shame on me.
For God's sake.
But I've got, I got great art from Lee that we're going to share shortly, Joe. But congratulations on the new book. Welcome.
Thank you, man. Hey, it's been a fun day. It's been, I guess, a couple years since Skyward, so it feels so good to have a book out in the store. Like, I just went to Collector's Paradise in NoHo and was signing a bunch of copies, and it was just like seeing them out there, being able to hold them, and I'm like, it's so nice.
Here we go. Got it right. It says there you go, man. Absolutely. And I got some great splash pages as well from Lee. So while I'm loading those, tell us, give us the 10-cent tour on Shadecraft and what the story entails.
So Shadecraft is about Zadie Lou, the 16-year-old woman in that picture. She is afraid of her own shadow. She's 16. She should probably be over that by now, but maybe she has reason to be. And maybe, just maybe, there is a reason they seem to be trying to kill her.
Oh my!
So, that is the story. It's very much. Sorry.
No. Continue.
No. It's if you like Skyward, you'll like this. If you love Skyward, you'll love this. It is very much us trying to sort of create a sister book to that. The same sense of fun, the same sense of a main character who you root for and love, with the added addition of a little bit of horror into the mix. So I've been calling it fun horror or forror, which is a term that I will not in any way succeed in popularizing. But that's
well, you dabble in horror with what you do with Lucifer, so we already know that. Here's a great splash page right there.
Oh, yeah.
So excellent, and then I got the double page spread. Everybody loves it. Come on, look at that.
Yeah, that thing is
very,
so
very
good.
Cool, man. So yeah,
so
there is
good.
a reason for her to be afraid of her shadows and stuff. So definitely. God, everyone is coming in and everyone's saying hi and congratulations to you. And
there they are. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Oh no,
yeah.
They're here and everything. So, congratulations, Joe. Skyward came to Spain some time ago. I hope to buy the comic soon.
Awesome.
I can't wait to read Shadecraft. Very cool. Very nice, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Absolutely. So, and hey, I didn't know this already. You've got a pickup on Shadecraft to be a TV show.
We have a pilot that we are writing, so we're not quite as far along as that headline made it sound, though I like that, but I feel pretty good about it. I am co-writing it with Georgia Lee. She is a writer from The Expanse. She's awesome. She's amazing. Wow. And it's been really fun to sort of find a different way to tell Zadie's story, and also to collaborate on it with Georgia and put a lot of herself into the story. And sort of find, okay, we're telling the story with the book. What is the version of the story that will live on TV? Because so much about shadow play, so much of Shadows is what can exist on the page, what can exist in real life. The impossible challenge that Lee has in this book is, how do you make Shadows are so much about motion, and how do you do that in panels? Whereas in TV, you can really embrace the idea of something just suddenly changing, something transforming. And so we have it easier in TV in certain ways and harder in other ways. But one of the harder things is you just don't have these beautiful Lee Garbett drawings that you could have on a page. So
the images and the story kind of evoke some of the great stuff that I loved about those great Spectre comics from the 70s. That
I love that.
And yeah, Jim Aparo used to do. And I wonder if you've discussed that at all with Lee in terms of a comparison and trying to come up with the look that you're looking for this.
I'm going to pretend and say yes, but no. Lee might have. And by the way, it's so funny because when we started working on this, I was like, Lee, it's shadows. You're going to be great at shadows. He's like, why do you think I'm great at shadows? And I'm like, I don't know. It just feels like something you'd be really good at because you're really good at drawing dark, moody stuff. And he's like, am I? Because like Lee is that guy who like he's always pushing himself. He's always trying to get out of his own comfort zone. And he's like, listen, honestly, shadows kind of terrify me. They're really hard. That's why I love this. That's why I want to do this, because the things that I'm afraid of are the things that I try to embrace. If only there was a metaphor there to our Zadie Lou.
A lot of people are asking, right now, for instance, Maria. I hope I'm saying that right, Maria.
Marilia?
I don't know if they pronounce the L's or if it's like a Y or whatever. So that's why I went with Marilia. But anyway, the fact that she hopes that it comes out in Portuguese. Another person was asking, will it be available? Here we go. Marina is asking, will it be available in Brazil? How long does it take from image to these other things? Because I know Skyward already people have been commenting they've been able to get it in foreign countries.
Yeah, it's tricky. A lot of it is publisher outreach. They come to us and whether or not they feel that there's an audience. So I'm hoping Brazil, because we've had a lot of success with Skyward in Brazil. And so my hope is that that has shown that we can be a commodity there that will then continue. And then I think Portugal as well. We haven't heard anything from either territory yet, but usually it also takes an issue coming out, a sense of you guys asking for it. So if the demand is persistent enough, I don't know where the demand is supposed to go, but if anyone published Skyward in your territory, bug them and be like, get this next, and then hopefully we can get it there, because there's nothing better than international copies, man. It's so fun to see your words translated and just the sense of an international exposure. It's just amazing.
Including the audience that we're gathering right now with this conversation. I am so grateful for the Word Balloon International audience. And this is exactly what I was hoping for, because it's 3:00 my time, it's 1:00 Joe's time, and we know it's the evening in Europe and everything. So it's great that everyone is showing up and ready to ask some questions. And it's funny, people are like, how come half the people here are from Spain? That's fantastic.
And then we have a hi from Spain that just popped up. Man, all right, Spain.
That's outstanding. Okay, and Patty says, yeah, we're definitely not getting it in my country. Well, hopefully that'll change. I don't know, Patty, if you got Skyward or not, but certainly we hope so. And, look at this. And funny story, I discovered The Expanse and Lucifer same day on Netflix. Everything's connected, indeed. Absolutely. Yeah. Lisa has a good question, and I don't think we've ever discussed this. Have you ever read Joseph Campbell's Power of Myth, and does it influence your storytelling?
I long ago that I read it, but I don't remember it. And I think that's probably the best way for me to process that, which is I feel like a lot of those sort of storytelling lessons, those senses of what is inherent to story, you almost want to learn and then forget. You almost want to know them and then move away from them, so it becomes instinctive as opposed to cognitive. Having said that, I'm going to actually revisit it because it's been a while. But I'm pretty sure I did when I was younger and had more brain cells.
So, Joe, as you're producing season 6, and then I've seen some of your posts in terms of
John, we wrapped.
You did.
We wrapped the entire series on Monday.
Wow!
You are my first interview after having.
Oh, he's frozen.
Nope. You are my first interview after having wrapped the entirety of Lucifer.
Understood. Wow. Oh man, how many?
So,
all right.
Ask away.
Excellent. You froze for a second, so if I should freeze on you or drop, you might have to vamp. But because every now and then my internet gets spotty, so I'm going to warn you.
Could have been me too.
If I disappear, then don't worry. We're still running and everything, and
I can dance the dance, John.
I know you can't, Joe. You know what you're doing. It's so obvious. Seriously, man. And I'm sure I'll say it at the end of the conversation as well. Way to go. I mean, good Lord, we've been talking for 15 years, including the Bendis board back in the day.
I was going to say.
And I can't tell you how proud I am and pleased that things are going as well as they are for you. And truly, to get 6 seasons out of Lucifer, a show that was constantly on the bubble.
Oh yeah,
I mean, is really an achievement, and also a show that while you weren't part of the original concept, that you came in as a showrunner, and you and Ildy have really just done this amazing job with this show. So honestly, it's so great, and we're all chomping at the bit, not only for season 6, but of course for 5B as well.
Well, and they finally announced the release date of May 28th, so we're out in less than 2 months. And
I don't know how to break it to you, Joe, but I guess we're gonna have to talk in June or something like that.
I demand it. And what's more, I have seen the trailer for 5B, which I couldn't say earlier because I didn't know when the word would get out of its release. But you guys are gonna shit yourselves when you see that trailer because it is awesome. I mean, the season itself is awesome, but when you guys see the trailer, I will warn everyone: the trailer has some spoilers that you might not want to see if you watch it, but it doesn't really, it won't ruin the experience. It'll only add to it, in my opinion, but it's got a lot. And I was just watching, I was like, did we do all of that in 8 episodes? Wow. It's awesome.
Very, very exciting.
As for when for the trailer, Viking A, I don't know. No idea. But sometime between now and May 28th. Hannah, the title of the finale made me cry too. John, just so you know, the title of the finale is Partners Till the End. That is about Ildy and I.
Ah,
it might be about other characters too, but honestly, that is a big part of it. Is it's Ildy and I celebrating our partnership, and again, it might reflect something else too. Who's to say?
Well, and obviously there's a lot of partnerships in the cast and the story. So that can mean a lot of things. And I look forward to that. That's wonderful. And Lucy Fan 666 says, I know you all would have done an awesome job with 5B. What was that last day of shooting like? Somebody asked that question earlier. Yeah. So what?
Oh, yeah. Hard.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Bittersweet. Very, very, very emotional.
I bet.
I mean, it's funny because it was very sad, but also it wasn't, because we ended on our terms. We ended with a story we wanted to end with. We ended with the family that we started with, and that was a truly incredible thing. So it's funny because we'd look at each other and be like, should we be sadder? Because we're sad, but we're really, really happy also about what we were able to do. And so, but yeah, we cried a lot, like a lot. So through our masks.
No, honestly, and I mean, obviously, we're seeing, fan response turning into content with the Snyder Cut coming out a couple weeks ago, and Lucifer has been a great example of that as well. These fans refuse to let that show die, and I think that's testament to everybody that's on the chat right now, and certainly all of us that have enjoyed the show. And like you say, you got to end it on your own terms. You had plenty of time to kind of really get to where you wanted to get to from I'm sure, a story standpoint. And it's really exciting knowing what's coming, both with 5B and 6 and everything. So 8 episodes for 5B, and is it 16 or 8 for 6?
10.
Ooh, okay.
It is 10 for our final season. And by the way, Charlotte, because of COVID, there will still be kisses in season 6. Don't you worry.
Excellent.
Early on, we were actually kind of worried about it. We weren't sure.
I can appreciate
what
that.
we'd be able to do, but as we have figured out what COVID is and how to keep our cast safe while still doing things, we got some kissing. So worry not.
And Cindy wanted to know, did it also change the story at all?
That's a great question, because yes, but also no. And the reason is because we knew what we were getting ourselves into. So we knew the story we wanted to tell. But as we were breaking the story, we already knew that we were going to be limited with what we could do. And so a big part of it became, how do we write towards our limitations and create strengths out of that? So a big part of it is like you write a lot more emotional scenes, a lot more character-driven scenes. Action was a lot harder. We still have action. We don't have as much of it as we normally do. Just full disclosure. But we have a lot more emotion than we often do. It forced us as writers to dig deeper into the dynamics between the characters, and it also allowed us to show off just how damn good our cast is. So it affected it a lot, but it's the exact same story we wanted to tell.
Okay, very cool. And people are saying, of course, we're all excited for the musical episode coming up in 5B. So that's going to be good.
Yeah, I saw someone asking which number was my favorite, and it is such a hard question to answer because Ildy wrote the episode, and one of the things she did so well is everyone is singing something so different, and so but the answer is whichever one I'm watching at that moment. It is the most rewatchable episode we've ever done because each musical number is just a different flavor, a different thing in the best way possible. It's awesome. Sherwin Shalati directed it. He's fine. No, he's also directing our finale. Sherwin was our director who came on season 2. We were his first TV gig ever, and now he's directing the series finale. He's incredible, and he directed the musical, and it's awesome.
That's cool. Now, and it's okay if you don't want to answer this, but I am curious if, Buffy, you guys wrote songs specific for this, or Supergirl and some of and then the Flash and the other shows. Are you guys doing covers?
We're doing covers. I
Okay.
don't know what kind of insane people write songs. That just, dear Lord. By the way, Ildy could actually write songs. Ildy was in a band. I could never write a song, which is also why whenever people are like, "Are you do a musical episode?" I was like, "Ildy can, because not me." But man, it is one of my favorite episodes. It's what I love about our show is there's episodes that some of us couldn't do, but would also love. And that's an episode that I could never write, or at least one I couldn't write as well as Ildy, in the same way that the Diablo episode, Mike Costa was perfectly born to write that episode. Ayanna White writing the black and white flashback episode, that was she put so much of herself into it. That's the fun of TV.
I can appreciate that. I'm reading all these wonderful things that people are saying.
Oh, I got a job.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sure it's too early to think what season was your favorite.
Ooh, you know what? I will give an answer. I think season 2 was my favorite.
Okay.
And I'll say that because it was this season that we really we just knew what the show was. Season 1 was discovery. Season 1 was, this is almost working. Oh, this is really working. Oh, okay, we're still finding this. Season 2, it's the rocket was built, we just took off and we never looked back. And also it's when we brought on Amy, it's when we brought on Trisha Helfer. We knew how to do the show. We had been able to experiment. We'd found those episodes that just hit it. We had found those episodes that we stumbled over a little bit. And yeah, so season 2 holds a very special place in my heart. I think season 6 might have been my favorite if we'd be able to shoot it in normal times. I wasn't able to be on set very much. It's that tricky game where we're all going to look back and be happy with the product, but it was more of a job than it normally is because you just can't have that same camaraderie when you can't hug somebody. But you're not going to see that on screen. On screen, it feels like we shot it out of COVID, and I'm really proud of that.
That's wonderful, man. Now, it's funny because you mentioned season 2, and Viking A says in season 2, Mom told Lucifer that God wanted to kill him after the rebellion, but she saved him and had him sent to hell. Will this ever be addressed on the show now that Dad is on Earth?
Oh, that is a good question. Let's just say that Lucifer and Dad are going to have a lot of conversations about where they have been, and that's the kind of thing they'll be talking about. So the Lucifer God and actually the Lucifer or God Amenadiel stuff is it was such a delight to play with, and as you'll see in the trailer, Dennis Haysbert does not lack for moments of emotion, of drama, and humor. Because guess what? Dennis Haysbert's can I swear?
Of course.
It's a fucking funny dude.
That's
and
awesome.
You'll see, well, maybe that's where Lucifer got it. I'm just saying. Or from his mom. But you guys are going to be very excited to see how we explore all that.
Well, and that's the really fun thing. I always love depictions of God in terms of from George Burns to Morgan Freeman to whoever you want to think of, and the opportunity. I always think of that line from Oh God, where George Burns says, I forget who the writer was who said, so and so pegged me best. I'm a comedian that's playing to an audience that's afraid to laugh. And I'm like, oh, that's good.
That's
and
really good.
Really writing writing God in the right hands can really be entertaining. And well, as we, God, even Julia Sweeney, God Says her one woman show, things like that. I mean, it's, it's true. I guess in the right, depending on your perspective, God's either hilarious or can be very cruel. And I'm sure we're going to see both of those things.
I was going to say, like any person, he's a little bit of everything.
Someone asked earlier, pardon me, I'm going to drink some tea.
I'll sing a song while you do.
Excuse me. Someone asked earlier, and I got more to drink, so don't worry. I'm not choking.
I can take over on this side, John.
Went down the wrong pipe. Let's see.
You clear that out. I'm going to answer some of these questions. I'm going to scroll through. Is Chloe going to have a C-section? I don't even know what to do with that. I'm going to just keep going. Because I know what you're dancing around is, can I find a clever way to ask whether or not Lucifer and Chloe will ever have a baby? And any of those questions are just spoilery things that I would never step on in any way. Let me find some teasy stuff I could talk about, though. Is the trailer of 5B better than 5B itself? No. That's how good 5B is. Just you wait. Someone asked, how do I describe 5B in 3 words?
Yes, earlier.
Biggest fucking season. It is nuts. It is amazing. And it also really does feel like part of a whole to 5A. It all ties together. It's so fucking cool. So, and when you see the trailer, you'll get it. And when you see the season, you'll really get it.
Will you end season 5B with a cliffhanger? Or does 6 kind of stand on its own, or both, or exactly? There you go.
Here is what I'll answer, which is every season of Lucifer completes the story, but also teases something to come. And that is something that we have done every single season, which is we are wrapping up season 5. We are going to finish that story, but like any good serial storytelling, you're going to want to come back for season 6, and we will give you a pretty good reason other than just loving the show. Excellent. Can you describe season 6 in 3 words?
There it is.
All good things.
Indeed. Wow. Well, we understand.
Season 5B versus season 6. I love them both in different ways. Season 5B is big and epic. Season 6 is sweet and personal. And I don't even know how to compare them. They're almost like they're so wildly different and yet so very much of a whole. They're very much part of a story going on. So, will Decker Star finally get a date? You guys, you Decker Star fans, you guys are going to be very happy with certain things that are coming up. Okay, you're going to be very happy. So, we are Decker Star fans. We love Decker Star as much as you guys do. We gotcha.
And so now New York Utopia says Patty has a good question. What was Patty's question?
Oh, all right.
I'm scrolling up. Here, who's funnier, Lucifer or God?
I would say God would say God, and Lucifer would say Lucifer. I would say me.
I can appreciate that. Can you share any alternate the 10th episode?
You know what? There was always the title.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Title. Great question, though. Because we do go through alts on episode titles, because every episode is a piece of dialogue from the episode. And sometimes we like to get creative and make people think that it's one person saying it, and then they'll see the episode like, oh, it was this person. There's a couple titles that season 6 in particular that we knew what the titles were immediately, and that was one of them.
Will hell freeze over again in 5B? And I'll even expand that. Will we see more scenes in hell and the various little levels of hell that we've seen in previous episodes?
Yes.
Okay. Because like the clown stuff, wasn't it 5 where you had like the clown stuff in it? That was fantastic. It's just stupid stuff like that.
By the way, I will take credit for that. I added that to Mike's script. It's literally like one of the only things I changed about the script. And I was like, it's clowns now. And he's like, this is literally the only thing you changed. You made it clowns, and I was like, I mean, I want to do clowns, and I can't remember who. Yeah, there's just like the clowns like riff in the background on stuff, and I think that was Mike and or Claudia Yarmy, the director, just riffing on the day, which is also the fun of it because the script is very much what it is, but also I love it when you get surprises from set where you're like, oh, that's staying in, and I'm gonna pretend that was me.
You know, Patty asked, will we see 5A bloopers? Ooh. And with that, physical media is really almost an endangered species, it seems. I mean, you can purchase, seasons still, but most of the time it's usually digital. I don't know if there are plans on hard DVDs, because obviously that'd be a place for bloopers, and I have no idea what...
we had bloopers, I guess it was for 4. I can't remember... where I'll find out because I think we always cut them. Usually we cut them like for our own rap party, but we didn't have a rap party, which is why I don't know the answer. Because normally I'd be like, oh, I remember watching it for the rap party, so that we could get it out, and then we'll release it to the fans. So I will look into it.
Are you dealing with post-production now that the shooting is wrapped up? Is that what you're dealing with essentially?
I just watched episode 609 yesterday.
Man, so you are almost done. Holy cow.
Beautiful. And I watched 608. So I watched episode 608 and 609, DB Woodside and Kevin Alejandro, and they both just delivered beautiful episodes.
Oh, they directed?
They directed. Kevin directed 2 because he's been directing for us for a bunch.
Yes,
but DB directed his first episode, and it's
that's awesome. Yeah, I do remember us talking about how Kevin had directed previous episodes, so that's excellent. And that's funny. We need a Maze Eve tease, sir. Absolutely, that'd be great.
Maze is really awesome, and Eve is really awesome, and I feel like there is unfinished business between the two of them, and that doesn't sound like a fun story for me to tell at all.
That's excellent, man. Great to hear.
Also, Inbar is just the best, so
excellent. Very cool. Oh, will you guys be doing the Comic-Con in November in San Diego?
Haven't been invited yet. That also sounds like the worst day to ever hold a Comic-Con. So I'm just hoping that gets rescheduled because I don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, November in general, you think, or just in terms of
Thanksgiving weekend?
Is it Thanksgiving weekend? Oh man,
yeah.
I've
seen all these people posting. They're like, "Do you want to go to Comic-Con? Do you hate your families?" It's like, having said that, if they invited me, yeah, maybe, I don't know. They probably won't invite me now, but
Jesus. This is interesting. Is there going to be a wedding in 5B? Good non-answer. All right, that's good. Yeah, that's excellent, man. Sorry, like Joe, honestly, are you gonna take like a breather between projects? I mean, okay, yeah, honestly, I really like. What do you do after you finish something like this? Or obviously, I'm sure you already have planted seeds, like you said. You're working on the Shadecraft pilot, possibly for Netflix and stuff.
Yeah, sounds dumb, but my vacation is writing. Like, I love writing, and I love writing different things, and awesome. I have a really hard time taking time off because I am so lucky that my job is my passion. My job is the thing that I love to do, and so what I basically do is I do 2 things. I hang out with my kids, and I write. And my wife, sorry. Jeez, bad husband. I hang out with my wife and kids, and I write. And those are the 2 most important things to me. And then otherwise, I just I get cheesy. I get to escape in my mind. I get to go on vacation in my mind. Like telling stories, writing Shadecraft is a delight. Getting this art is such a joy that I just want to keep writing until people realize I'm a fraud. So that's the game. All right, let's see some. I saw a good question scroll by.
Was it about
did we record the?
Yes.
Yeah. Did we record the table read? I mean, that'd be a pretty good idea.
Oh God, I hope so, man. We saw those pictures that you flashed on your Twitter feed of everybody at that last table read. So that's excellent.
I hope someone did.
There you go. Well, here, I hope we get to see it. Will God talk on Uriel? It's the only final death in the celestial family, and him being killed by Lucifer will make things intense, I guess.
You know, I'm going to be honest on this one. I can't remember how deeply we dug into that. Because, but it is something that weighed on us, and it's always something that weighs on the show and weighs on Lucifer. So I feel like we spoke to it, but it's not a huge point. It's more of one of the tragedies in the arc of the family, and something that definitely it more colors Lucifer than anyone else.
And then this is interesting from Michelle. Why? Oh no, here not will somebody important die. Actually, it was the other one. Here it is. Erica's question. Why is it important for Maze to have a soul?
Oh, I love that question. That's a great question, because the answer is it's only important if it's important to her, right? Like that's, to me, that is like that's the exact question. That's the question she should be asking ourselves. Everyone should be asking herself, because what does having a soul mean? What does that look like? How does that validate you? How does an external thing validate the internal, or do you need it to? Like that's the question.
Understood. And then here, Fangirl by Night X. Is there a big villain in season 6 beyond all the conflicts within the cast?
It's a good question.
Good answer. Very good. I like it. No, absolutely, man. Hey, we want our presents on Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I completely understand. So, oh yeah. Now you see, there you go. And I, okay, Book Girl says
I have a theory about the soul thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and after it's over, I want you to tweet me and tell me what it was. I want to know.
That's funny.
Ooh, what about Gaudium? Okay.
Good.
I tried. I really tried. My favorite character. I just couldn't figure out how to make it work. So he will always live as an Easter egg in the Mr. and Mrs. Mazikeen Smith. I lost. I tried, but honestly, the thing is, it's such a great character. I wanted to do him justice, and I just couldn't find the right way to do it.
Understood. Greetings from Cyprus. Your favorite episode of season 5B and season 6?
Ooh, it's 5B. It's the first episode back. It's 509. It's my favorite episode that I have written. I just love it. It's the family. It's family dinner, and when you see what the family dinner is, I think you'll understand why it's very, very personal to me, and why it just was a delight to shoot. I've posted this before. There's an 11-minute scene in the episode that is just 11 minutes of people talking. And I got to write a play. I wrote a play, and it was so much fun to be able to do that. And especially with a cast like this, who you can the most interesting thing they can do is talk, which is not an easy thing for actors to do. But when you have ones that are that good.
No, no, absolutely. And again, we've invested in these characters, so it is going to be those conversations that I think are going to be really great to see. Man, everybody is asking fast and furious.
Yeah, you guys are asking spoiler questions that
absolutely. That's
you can throw them in there, but I'm going to dodge them just because I don't really want to go one way or the other, because it'll tell you where the story goes. So you can keep posting them, but I'm just not going to be able to answer them. I'm sorry.
For the audio audience, Joe does not have to answer this or acknowledge it. But yeah, people are, like everyone's expecting Chloe to be pregnant. That's one of the big questions. Is Chloe a part of family dinner?
Great question.
All right, then. And again, no, Joe, this is great. And these are the right answers. Absolutely, man. As Marina points out, yes, your poker face for people asking huge spoilers is the best. Absolutely.
I've actually been trying to throw little sneaks in too. I'll be like, and by the way, that means absolutely nothing. So, will Lucifer and Trixie have any interactions in future episodes? Hell yes. If Lucifer can't get drunk, why do drugs affect him? He can get drunk. It just takes a crazy amount of alcohol, and therefore it takes a crazy amount of cocaine.
Will there be Lucifer merchandise? Is there Lucifer? There's got to be.
I thought I saw that some Lucifer merch started coming out from was it Creation Entertainment, but I got to look into that because honestly, every year I ask, and for whatever reason, I can't get it through. So
crazy.
I'm trying. I'm
no,
trying.
No, and that's surprising because I would.
I want my Funko. I want my Funko Pop.
That'd be great, Lucy Funkos. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Any Michael Tees for 5B?
Yes, I was going to ask you about Michael.
Thank you. That's a good question.
Absolutely.
Not to say you guys' questions aren't good. It's just I can't answer them. So 5A is Michael as the antagonist. And one of the things I wanted to do in 5B is dig into every season, our antagonist is the hero of his own story. How is Michael the hero of his own story? What pain does he have? What is he dealing with? And that is a big part of 5B is humanizing him and his agenda. Creation Entertainment's website still says coming soon. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Hopefully soon.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, they wanted to know where Tom got his favorite Lucifer Quotes coffee mug.
Yeah.
That's been made, I'm assuming.
I wish I knew. Do we explore more of Ella's darkness in 5B? Yes.
Cool. That's great.
One. See, that's a really good, like, give me a tease, give me a little something. Nice, good question. Which antagonist is my favorite?
That's a good question, yeah.
I mean, it's probably Mom. Mom was great.
That's cool.
She's just like Trisha was great. It was such a simple story to be able to tell of a mother who wants to protect her children, but also needs to let them go, needs to let them live their own lives, and needs to let go of her own anger and pain. I definitely can't empathize with any of that, but
here's a good one because you guys aren't really on a network schedule. How long does it take to make an episode? I'm sure it varies, but
that's cool because so what happened was with season 6, it took us a little bit longer because we're doing shorter shoot days, just to make sure we want everyone's immune systems up. We want everyone just as healthy as possible. And by the way, normally we were only like 12-hour shoot days anyways. We were very reasonable, but like we're just erring on the side of protecting our crew. And we also were shooting shorter scripts. We dropped a number of pages per script because it's just harder to shoot in COVID. Everything takes longer. And I know what you're wondering. Does this mean we have shorter episodes? And the answer is sometimes yes, and sometimes no. So we still have plenty of episodes that are shorter than we ever did on network TV, but some episodes that are in the 40s, some episodes that are in the 50s.
That's great, man. That's always been my. It's so funny. I was literally listening to a podcast this afternoon, and they were saying, using The Mandalorian as an example, that the guy's son is like, oh, it's only a 30-minute show, and sometimes, oh my god, it's like almost double the size of a regular. And again,
how long is your story? Yeah,
whatever the story dictates. Absolutely, man. No, that's awesome.
I feel like The Mandalorian really gave a lot of people permission to voice that because there is that. We've always felt that way with Netflix, and Netflix is they'll always tell us like it's however long the story demands. They've never really cared, but it's the first time I'd actually seen that become part of the sort of the conversation amongst fans and everyone else in the very positive way, where it's like, just give me the length of the story that's the most bang for the buck on the story you want to tell.
Do you continue? No, continue. And then
I was just going to read a question, but if you have a question, I'll.
Okay, I do have a follow-up, and that is, do you moving on to whatever your next project is, and I guess depending on what the platform is, now that you've had it, you had 3 seasons on Fox where it was episodic week by week, then you've had 3 seasons of Netflix where everything comes out at once. Would you how do you feel about that as a creator in terms of either going weekly episodic or putting it all out there in one big spiel?
I mean, I'm torn. There is something awesome about just having that ready to binge. Personally, I've really enjoyed watching the Marvel shows week by week. Like, there is a real value to the water cooler effect, and to be able to talk about things and know that. I mean, one of the challenges that I find with our shows is you don't get those opportunities to talk about the same thing at the same moment, because you're like, oh man, I love Lucifer. Which episode are you on? We'll talk later. And So one of the things we did for season 5A was we had the Michael reveal coming up, and we decided to put it in the trailer because we're like, let's give everyone something to talk about that they can all be on the same page on if they want to talk about it. And that's helpful. And you'll have another thing like that in the 5B trailer.
There you go. I was going to ask. So very good to hear. And that's excellent. Yeah, man, honestly, you're right about that. And truly, as much as I appreciate the opportunity of binging as soon as it drops, I do feel for a lot of these shows where it's like literally like maybe 2 weeks later, who's still talking about it, as opposed to the momentum you can build when it's weekly and stuff. God, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to be on a podcast on Friday. I got to watch Kirkman's Invincible.
I haven't watched it either, but I'm hearing great things. So I'm really excited.
I am caught up on Winter Soldier. I don't know if you probably.
Oh yeah, I'm caught up. Yeah, I'm watching.
Yeah, excellent. Oh my God. So Kurt Russell's kid, fantastic. Jesus,
great. Just
John
great.
Walker.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Totally.
And Battlestar and oh my God, it was so great last week. I feel like I can kind of spoil and seeing Isaiah Bradley and especially Carl Lumley playing Isaiah Bradley.
Yes, great casting, and like it's the story. I don't know how you do this season with any other story, and I'm so happy they're doing it. I'm so happy they're going there, and I like that is it is such a rich, important story to tell, and I can't wait to see how it ends up.
Yeah, I'm sure you felt the same way back when 20 years ago when they released the comic Truth.
Was that 20 years ago? Oh,
close
man.
to it, close to it.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, it's
you're hurting me. You're hurting me.
How do you think I am, man? I got kids on you, so no, I hear you.
Okay, here's a good question. Will Chloe find out about all the sacrifices that Lucifer made for her? Please. I like that question. That's a good question.
That's a very good question. Absolutely, man.
And I'll answer it. Wait, I'm gonna answer it. John, you want to keep these spoilers out?
No,
John says I can't answer that question. I'm really sorry, guys. I was gonna answer it. Yes.
Excellent. That's great to hear. Fantastic. and truly, as Helena said, more Chloe and May's scenes. I completely agree. That those partner scenes are so much fun.
Yes. Yeah, they're great.
Absolutely, man.
No, that was like one of the things we discovered when we put them together. Like, so much fun of the show is the unexpected duos that you can really play with. And like Chloe and Maze was a discovery. Amenadiel Dan was a discovery. Like, that's one that we were like, we're not quite sure what this is. We kept trying to find it. And then when we did, it was like, oh, this is actually like a foundational relationship in our show now. It's awesome. So like the mixing and matching of the show is great. And again, it's just a testament to the actors because like they love playing off each other in different ways. Do you have a favorite action scene? My favorite action scene is coming up in 5B.
Oh, very cool.
It's amazing.
Wow. Is it possible that season 6 will be in this 2021, or is it more likely that it'll be next year?
That is a great question that I luckily do not know the answer to. Personally, I hope so. I would love it if it was, but I just don't know what Netflix's plans are on that yet. But that would be nice. If it does push, I don't think it'll push too far into the next year. I don't think they'll string it out too long, but I also just don't know, so don't quote me on that.
I understand. No, and honestly, when the pandemic started, I'm like, God, Netflix is likely the most well-positioned network to handle, although that's not really what I guess it's the network. You know what I'm saying, though? Yeah, it's a platform that is like the most prepared, and Amazon as well, having so many shows in the pipeline and everything, and that they could really dole this stuff out and still have great stuff to show us every week. Yeah, so, pretty amazing.
All right, so I just saw one that scrolled away. Does Chloe have a wing kink? She does, doesn't she? I just love that question, and whatever your headcanon is true. Simple as that. More parties at Lux in season 6. To a certain extent, we've had to be a little creative about how to do that because, as you say, for COVID.
Sure.
We'll still be in Lux. It'll still feel poppin'. It just won't. You just have to be careful about where you're shooting what and what's happening. But we have found some clever ways to get there. Question: are Michael and Lucifer mirror twins, and did that reflect the left-handed thing in the script, or was that Tom's inner character study? That was Tom. That is what he does. He's the person who brings that. And by the way, it's one of those things that we just knew he would. So it's not to say that like we're like, oh well, Tom will clearly do the left-handed thing. We just know that like we like to give Tom the blueprint and let him just make it his own, which is what he's so darn good at.
Man, it's just like Cumberbatch. It's going to be fun to see what Tom does post Lucifer. You know?
Yeah. Oh man, I cannot wait. I hope it's with me.
I respect that, and I don't blame you for feeling that way. Absolutely, man. Great leading man.
Oh, he's so good. Okay, let's see.
Well, got me a slop like one of us. Very good. Very nice.
Nice.
For a little shout out there. Wasn't it Michelle Branch?
I mean, you've seen. I forget who, but you've seen him. He looks pretty good. You know, I'll tell you what he looks like. He looks like the kind of guy who gives great hugs, because Dennis Haysbert gives the greatest hugs that I have ever hugged.
He's got the warmest voice of, God since Morgan Freeman. So I think that's fantastic too. I always said if Avery Brooks hadn't been cast as Benjamin Sisko on Deep Space Nine, it should have been Dennis Haysbert, because he would have been an amazing.
Oh yeah, he'd be amazing anything. He's he's awesome. Love him.
No, dude, I was so thrilled to hear that when you told us that he was playing God. It's like, oh, that's so cool. It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Yeah, it was awesome. All right, so will Dan ever be able to eat his pudding in peace? I do believe that will be the ongoing mystery of the entire show, and forever and ever. That is a truly insightful question that I love, because it is something that we have debated way too much in the writers' room.
Do you have a favorite character outside of the core? And I don't know, and I guess that's even a loosely defined thing. What is the core? But I would say beyond Dan, Lucy, and Chloe and everything. I mean, like Ella to me, man. And then again, you mentioned it earlier. What's to come with Ella? Man, that amazing twist with her boyfriend from 5A. And Dan, and I was going to call him Dan. Did Kevin? Was it Kevin that did the directing on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Truly masterful direction, great story, great twist. And it's very poor Ella. Poor.
Yeah. And here is the honest answer, which is a cop out, but it's also true. Every character is a part of us, and Ella is both my faith and my nerdy side. Maze is my unbridled rage and surprisingly sensitive side. Chloe is my sense of good and bad and trying to fight against the darkness. Lucifer is my debauchery, but also my insecurity. Kevin is the side of myself that I like to torture, but also I deep down love. Menadil is my nobility, but also the fact that maybe sometimes my head's up my own ass, but by recognizing that, I grow stronger. Like, each character is to me a part of me, and I think to a lot of the writers that's the case. And so, which part of me do I like best? Probably the Lucifer part, but which part do I relate with most? Often it's Ella, but in any given day, it's Linda and her attempt to be insightful for everyone else, but not necessarily see her own blind spots. And I could go on, because that we have put ourselves into the characters, and so you're asking me to choose me.
No, I get it, absolutely. Again, you've walked this great tightrope with Trixie. And I think really the fact that you guys have been able to keep her interesting and not overly cute, but a significant character in her own way and stuff. And I don't know what you can and want to say about Trixie in 5B and 6.
I mean, one of my favorite scenes coming up is with her. So, she's and it's Scarlett Estevez. She's awesome. Like, we got a child actor who's every passing year less of a child, and he's just wildly talented. So it's like you write to it. You write to her, and she's been awesome. And she's taken off, and so we've had to work around her schedule a little bit in a way that we're super happy to do, because she's worth it.
Would you ever, with the challenge of doing group scenes, giant scenes with scenes at Lux and everything, would you ever rely on, previous footage and just maybe change the music or whatever and have that as like an establishing shot?
Oh, what an interesting idea. That's exactly the kind of game that we might be playing with.
There you go. No, I understand, man.
Yeah. No, that's exactly like, those are the conversations we've had and the things that we've tried to do. Go, okay, how do we make the show feel like it's always felt, but also like be respectful to the fact that the only people who for a living have to have their masks off, at least in LA, are actors. And so that's a scary, vulnerable thing. So how do we keep them safe and protect them in the way that we would want to be protected? And that is just step one of it. Everything else is just getting really creative and clever. There's a thing that we do in episode 3 of season 6, which we've never done before, which allowed us to get some really cool out of the box episode stuff. I'll leave it as vague as that. You guys will see.
I understand, buddy. No, it's all good. Well, like I was going to say, Star Trek had that Klingon bird of prey exploding, and they used it like 3 or 4 times between movies and the TV shows. So,
we don't quite go there, but yeah. Ooh, what's on the different floors of Lux is a question.
Yeah, I saw that.
It is something that we have almost told multiple episodes about and just never really got into. So, sex dungeons. It's all sex dungeons and Lucifer's kitchen.
I hope Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm dying. Are we going to see any flashback heaven scenes?
It's an interesting question.
Fair enough. I like it. Fantastic. Is there any time jump in season 6? Well, that's kind of I think that's too much.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
Alina says help. Alina, I'm sorry. I can't.
There you go.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'm crying.
Will Chloe see Lucifer's wings again? Hell yes.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, there we go. Too much. And yeah, I was going to say, there are some picture hints that Chloe is pregnant. That's why we asked, not just rumors, but almost official spoilers. I want a baby or twins. I hope it stays a secret. Well, that's fine. Then your statement stands, and Joe doesn't have to comment on that statement.
I appreciate the questions.
There you go. Absolutely, man. I was going to laugh here, Kate, when Kate said, "I'm crying. Thank you very much for everything you did for us. Thank you. Just know that we all trust you and love you. Thank you. Absolutely, Kate. I completely.
And by the way, Kate, I gotta say, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the Lucifer fandom, because as much as you guys, like we'll all joke around, and I think we actually have a good understanding of me being able to tongue in cheek tease you guys, at times almost deceive you guys, because I want you to discover the story as it goes. But what I love is that the Lucifer fandom always comes from a place of love, or 99% of the time. There are the bad apples that you guys actively try to keep out of it, and I appreciate that. But for the most part, I think we're lucky, because I think we have one of the most positive fandoms out there, and it says a lot about you guys, and I just really appreciate it.
100%, man. I'm going to ask you a couple nerd questions, comic questions. Would you ever want to do any DC or Marvel stuff, Joe?
Yes. There's been a couple times where I've talked to editors of both places, and it just doesn't line up. And honestly, the other thing is if I did it, I want to make sure that I'd have the time to do it right, and make sure I'd have a decent run. And it's just really hard to make sure I carve that time, because you never know. But I've talked to editors at both places, and editors I love, and I've had opportunities come up that I wanted to take, and I didn't know if I'd do as good of a job as other places. And it's funny, because if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, the answer was a little different. But once Skyward came out, they established me a bit of bona fides. So that helped. Really quick, I want to answer a Lucifer question that I realized got misconstrued. For season 6, the episode length I was saying is there are episodes that are in the 50s and episodes that are in the 40s. So there are episodes that are more than 50 minutes. So it is entirely dependent on both of those. In 5B, I think most of them are in the 50s. There might be one in the 40s. I can't remember.
Someone asked, what props did you take away as you
currently in the process of doing that, but there's some stuff that I am hoping to grab. So that is the most important question.
Excellent.
Actually, well, I'll just tell you, I took Tom Ellis. I was like, dibs. He wasn't thrilled about it, but he also respects dibs. So,
So it's an Ellis on the shelf as opposed to an elf on the shelf. I can
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Will Dave Matthews Band be in the Celestial Karaoke Jam? You know what? I was just thinking about how much I regret not doing that. Because for one, I don't think Ildia would want that. But that would, if I had written the musical episode, yes. So probably, but also like as a old school Dave Matthews Band fan, I really wish we had, but no.
That's too bad. Well, I'll be interested to see the covers that you guys choose and how they fit the various characters. So that's going to be cool. Tasha keeps asking if we're going to see Chloe touch or kiss Lucifer's devil face.
That's one of those things I'd rather just not say. No comment.
Okay, fair enough. Absolutely.
Let's see. Will Lucifer get that pet shark? No, I wish, but he comes closer to a shark than you might expect.
All right. Oh, here is Chloe. Is Chloe bisexual? I think I jumped past that, but that was a question that I saw for a moment. There it is.
It's a good question. I don't know if we've discussed it in the room enough for me to properly answer it.
Okay.
So I'm dodging it just because I don't want to speak out of turn for something like that, because I think it's an important question, but it's one that I don't want to answer wrong.
I understand. Vicky asked about merch again. Apparently it's in process, Vicky. So hang in there.
And hopefully there'll be more. I want my Funko.
Yeah, damn straight. Absolutely. Well, again, that looks like it's a bit of a spoiler question about Lucifer and Michael and how their relationship may change. So I guess we're all going to have to watch and see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is you'll see more of them together, and you will see a like any relationship, there will be a growth of sorts. The question is in which direction.
Okay. Any other non-spoiler questions, kids? We're close to wrapping up. But
will Chloe fly with Lucifer? That would be cool. Let's see. Do Lucifer and Chloe have the immortality conversation in 5B? That would be cool. Let me find other ones that is
non-spoilery.
Yeah. You guys, help me out here. Help me out. Were Chloe and Maze dating after season 4 ended? You know what? Chloe and Maze were two people who were in pain and looking for someone else to fill a void. And I think one of the things we wanted in particular is Maze, having only loved for the first time, misinterpreted that intimacy of friendship as something else, or more importantly, tried to turn it into something else when she felt that other person pulling away. So they weren't dating; they just became really close. And by the way, I would have done a whole season of like Maze and Chloe as partners. It was so much fun. They were so great together.
Absolutely, man. And it made me think of a question in terms of when you guys are writing that all important first episode of each new season. Like that's got to be a real challenge to not only resolve cliffhangers, but also, address new things and really hit the ground running. We're all like, holy shit, wow, where are things gonna go? And that's why we weren't expecting to see Maze and Chloe working together, but it was so funny. It was really this great added thing to the first episode.
Premieres are hard, and the season 5 premiere, I think one of the ways we made it easier on ourselves is we didn't make it a traditional premiere. Like the 5 premiere is weird. It's like Lucifer's down in hell. Chloe and Maze are solving crimes, and they don't get together until the very end, but they don't. Like there was, after season 4 was received so well, it was almost like, hey, we were given permission to play with the formula a little bit, and that was really freeing and really exciting. Also, a big part of that was going from 10 episodes to 16. When we found out we were 16, we realized that we could actually really step out some stuff, and that's where that came from. That's where the black and white episode came from. There's an episode in 5B that wouldn't have existed, and I can't imagine the show without it. So, because there's one character who hasn't had an episode focus on them yet, and that episode will finally be in the back half. So there's a tease for you guys if you can figure out which one that is.
Understood. Lots of more spoilery questions that unfortunately we can't address, kids, that I see in terms of the list. I'm really excited. May 28th is when 5B.
May 28th. We're what is that? Is that I always forget? Is it Memorial Day or Labor Day? I always get them confused.
I mean, I'm assuming that it's going to drop on a Thursday or a Friday. It seems like that's
we're the big holiday summer weekend blockbuster show, which is hilarious for a show that's been canceled almost as often as it's been renewed.
it is the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. So that's cool.
It is. We're the big blockbuster somehow. I don't understand it. I just love you guys for it. So
it's I well deserved, man, and it's very, very exciting about that. And again, want to remind everybody that Joe's new comic book, Shadecraft, is out now from Image Comics for North America. Hopefully, hitting the international scene as well. It's Joe and Lee Garbett again, and man,
hidden inside issue 1 is the release date of season 6. That's not true, but it couldn't hurt.
Might help a little bit. Absolutely, I don't blame you, man. That's fine. Let's go with that. Absolutely, it is. So that's fantastic.
But no, please, if you guys dig Lucifer, I think you'll love Shadecraft. It's just like it's a passion project. I love it. Lee's art is amazing, and it's of a similar voice of what we do on Lucifer. You're right, John. It is horror, just like Lucifer is that. Like it is just it is. Hopefully, it'll scratch your itch while you wait for 5B.
That's outstanding, man. Well, as always, Joe, it's a pleasure talking. And again, I think there are some really amazing spoilery questions here that unfortunately are going to have to wait for May 28th and beyond to as we enjoy season 5B.
I'll take 2 last questions. What happens with Ella's bathtub chicken, which is, I think off screen, Lucifer cooked it and ate it. And then 4 words to describe. I think I did it in 3 words, didn't I? I'll do it again. Describe 5B in 4 words. Biggest fucking season ever.
I like it. So, all right. Again, May 28th for 5B. Shadecraft out now from Image Comics. As Joe, as always, seriously, great spoilery things, and always fun talking Lucifer. Always fun talking about your comics. Continued success. I can't wait to see what you've got happening in TV post Lucifer as well. And yeah, man. And regardless, let's reconvene in early June, post Memorial Day, and talk about 5B.
Let's do it. I'm in.
That's awesome. Joe Henderson, everybody, thank you very much for watching. And don't forget, in about an hour, just under an hour, another Word Balloon Live. I'm talking to Devin Grayson, a fantastic writer who has hit the Bat universe with so many great stories, and Black Widow and other great things. And she's doing other great comic books right now. So looking forward to talking to her. So if you want to continue the conversation with more comic book talk, we're going to reconvene with a different link at 5. So just check out your YouTube Word Balloon channel, and you get the link there. But until then, thank you, Joe. And
thank you, John.
And take care of yourself. And